Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your match preview for Manchester City versus Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. Yes, there's a place at Wembley at stake. I mean, albeit we are playing at Wembley tomorrow. I've never agreed with that, if I'm honest. Semi-finals at Wembley doesn't feel right. Should only be the final. Semi-final, neutral venue, I agree, but make it Old Trafford, make it Villa Park, make it, the Emirates, do something. And the final, Wembley. But no, we're at Wembley tomorrow against Manchester City in the semi-final. We can get to the final if we get past Man City. And I think many people are going to be looking at this fixture as the winner of this game will go on to win the FA Cup. So we have a big opportunity. However, it's the toughest possible test that Chelsea could possibly face. Simple as that. If Chelsea get past City, we've gotten past the hardest team in the country. And that sets us up brilliantly for the Champions League semi-final, hopefully an FA Cup final later on, and then you never know. Champions League final, Istanbul, we'll see. But Manchester City tomorrow is going to be one hell of a game. And when I look back to playing against Manchester City, we remember how it went down the last time, just before Frank Lampard got sacked, and we got absolutely decimated. I mean, yes, we only lost 3-1. Could have been more. And we got a goal in like the last 2 minutes, thanks to Tammy Abraham with the tap-in. I remember that. But yeah, we were all over the place. We were all over the place. And the one fundamental issue we had in that game was that we couldn't defend. We couldn't defend to save our lives. And that was the one factor that was overshadowing everything. Just Chelsea cannot defend. Well, now under Thomas Tuchel, that's our main priority. That's our number one point now, is that we have gone back to being a solid team. I mean, it feels right. When I think of Chelsea, I think of what's in our DNA. I think solid, concrete, you're not getting past. But not just that, under Thomas Tuchel, we have a fluidity. We have an element of our play. We have a style that allows us to keep the ball, utilize the moments where we have possession and cause a threat in a very elegant way. So the only thing that we need to sort out now is putting the ball in the net and that front line and getting some goal scorers around here, because if we simply just don't have that yet. If we did have that, we would be the complete team. Just like Manchester City right now. They are the complete team. But I do feel that there are a couple of areas to exploit in that Manchester City team. And if you frustrate them enough with a very solid performance, you can hit them. Because their defense, as good as it is, has a couple of loopholes. Anyway, let's get into the match preview properly. And in regards to some certain players, the team news, what to expect, who's out, who's in. We've got a couple of injuries. Unfortunately, we've got a couple of lads that will not be featuring. Mateo Kovacic is still out. He will not be playing tomorrow. However, N'Golo Kante is back in full fitness, 100%. He will definitely be playing 90 minutes tomorrow, so expect a Jorginho Kante double pivot. And I'm going to get into the starting lineup very shortly, but expect them two in the midfield because those are our two best in the pivot when Kovacic isn't around. So Kante returns. Christensen, unfortunately, is out. He will not be featuring. However, we have Thiago Silva back in the setup, just like he played against Porto and done very well, albeit we lost 1-0 with a goal that pretty much, I think, will go down as goal of the tournament in the Champions League, from Taremi. I know the whole of Iran are celebrating at that. Fair play, I would. Fantastic goal, absolutely fantastic goal. But that display was a very good defensive performance. Thiago Silva was a big cornerstone in that performance. So it will be nice to know that he is back in the team properly. His injury is gone. He's back to full fitness. And he will more than likely be selected tomorrow. Now, talking about selections, I've had a little bit of an issue with this one. Because we've had a very rigorous schedule. And we continue to have a very rigorous schedule now. As I've said in yesterday's video, we have a game every 3 to 4 days now until the end of the season. Until our last game against Aston Villa, where I think we have about 5 or 6 day gap. But up until then, every game, 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days. It's going to be hell. And it's big opposition, big games, top challenges. We have to bring our A game. But when you look in the context of who played against Crystal Palace, who played against Porto, and who done well, and now you look at a bit of rotation perhaps, because we still have top 4 to fight for, it's difficult. But when I look at who should be selected, I've got a pickle. I've got a pickle here. And let's get into it. Let's discuss it as we go along. This would be the starting 11. We start with knowing, obviously, the formation is going to be a back 3. Edouard Mendy in goal. I think I don't have to say anything when I say Edouard Mendy anymore, do I? It's as simple as that. He picks himself. So Edouard Mendy in goal. If we go to the back 3, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, and Antonio Rudiger. You know, Azpilicueta has been so solid. And I feel like, you know, maybe he's getting on a bit. But it doesn't look like it. It really doesn't look like it. And he's been playing every single game. I do wonder sometimes, should he be rested? But he doesn't look like he needs rest. It's crazy. For a player that all of us thought had no legs left and no legs anymore, he's just doing fantastic. So Azpilicueta at right centre-back, Rudiger at left centre-back, he picks himself as well. There is just no way that we don't pick Rudiger, especially in the absence of Christensen. You could advocate for Kurt Zouma, who has filled in quite well recently, but Rudiger, there's a certain level of beast about him, and he needs to be in the starting 11. So Rudiger as left centre-back. We've got Thiago Silva in the middle. That has to happen in the absence of Andreas Christensen. And I'm solid with that back 3. I'm very solid. And I'm going to get to why after I've picked the starting 11. Now we move a little bit forward. We go to left wing back. Left wing back, I would go with Ben Chilwell. And I'd go with Ben Chilwell because I feel like we need a good defensive display against Manchester City. And Chilwell is probably a little bit more reliable defensively than Alonso. I say that, but sometimes you never know. Sometimes you could play Marcos Alonso and he has the game of his life. If he is picked tomorrow, I hope that's going to be the case. But when I just look from afar and I compare the two, defensively, you rely on Chilwell a little bit more. If you got to go all guns blazing, then you'd go with Alonso because you know how much he likes to score goals. So I'd go with Ben Chilwell. At right wing back, I would go with Reece James. Reece James put in a top display against Porto and before that. But against Porto, fantastic. And I feel like we need that. We need that. We need to be, as I've said, very solid to the back. And Reece James possesses the threat of bombing forward and being one of the forward men to supply us with any passes or any crosses into the box. So, you know, we can rely on Reece, and his development has been fantastic. So Reece James definitely at right wing back. We move into the double pivot. It has to be Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. That's without saying. We don't have a choice. Kovacic is out. Some would probably advocate for Billy Gilmour. This isn't a game for experimentation. This is a game for certainty. We know what we're getting with Jorginho and Kante. If we picked Gilmour out of the blue and all of a sudden he puts in the game of his life, then okay, but you never know. He might fold under the pressure. He might. We need that experience. Jorginho Kante, I feel like tomorrow can do a very good job in the middle, and I'm specifically looking towards Kante to try and help nullify anything that Man City come with in terms of attack. We move forward into the front 3, and this is where I've had a problem. I simply look at some other lads and I want them to play. But then I look at some of these lads that I've gone with and I just think it looks reliable. Let's start off. Mason Mount needs to be in this team. For the energy, for the way, for how direct he plays, for the way that he's been playing under Thomas Tuchel, his passing, his shooting. I mean, he even scored against Porto. He possesses a threat. We need threats. And we need sure threats. We need certain threats. We don't need threats that we think are going to be threats and then they do nothing. With Mason Mount, you know you're going to get a game from him. So for me, he has to be in this lineup. Now, the next two is where I feel a little bit unsure. And I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not. But if I'm just going to bring both of them out now. Christian Pulisic and Kai Havertz. It's the same as Porto. And it's the same as Crystal Palace. But when I look at the display that they put in, I feel certain. You know, I look at Ziyech and I want him to play. Because I do feel like there's an element, you know, of his creativity and his technicality that I think could help us a lot tomorrow. But who do you drop? Do you drop Pulisic, who's looked fantastic the last couple of games? I want that to continue. Do you drop Kai Havertz, who looks like a big threat up top? I want that to continue. You can't drop Mason Mount because, as I've explained, of what he brings to the table. The same goes for Timo Werner. I feel like there's a game there for Timo Werner tomorrow. I feel like if he were to be selected, albeit I hope he doesn't miss any clear-cut flipping chances. That is a given. But in terms of his style, I feel like there is a way that he might be able to exploit that Man City defence tomorrow. But who do you drop? I don't want to drop Kai Havertz. I don't want to drop Christian Pulisic. I don't want to drop Mason Mount. And this is where my dilemma is. I've got nothing against Ziyech or Werner. I want them to play. But who do I put away? I simply can't. Right now, I simply can't. When I look to that Crystal Palace performance, that Porto performance, and the Porto performance, we can't take too much away from those three because that was a defensive performance. We didn't set out to go and try and score many goals. If we do that, we might have seen something different from them. But even so, with the way that we set up, you saw the couple of chances that Christian Pulisic had, and maybe he should have put it away. But even so, he put in a man of the match performance. So who do you drop? It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. And I know there's going to be many people that disagree and many people that agree. It's going to be a cause of debate, I think, this one, in terms of the front three. Let me know in the comments. Who would you go with, please? Because I don't think anyone is right here. I think everyone has their opinion and we're just going to have to wait and see because all of them have a case. Same could be said for an Olivier Giroud and his experience in the FA Cup. Same could be said for Tammy Abraham and maybe his youthfulness. We don't know. Simple as that. But that would be, to be honest, my starting 11 and who I think Thomas Tuchel should go with. Now, if we go to a score prediction. This is tough because I don't want to jinx it. But at the same time, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to talk from my gut. Yeah, my gut feeling is telling me this. I'm not going to say Chelsea will win. I'm going to be real. Man City are a top team. And you look at their performance against Borussia Dortmund, you look at some of their fringe players that came in and put in one hell of a shift, like Amares, for example. And as happy as I am, especially as an Algerian, to see him play very well, it worries me because now we got to play him. It's not great. But Man City, top team. And we got to acknowledge that they're in a better position than us. They're about to win the title. They are better than us right now. But we can beat them. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to say after 90 minutes 1-1, then probably extra time, and then may the best team win, whether it goes to penalties or whether it's settled in extra time. But in 90 minutes, I am going to go Man City 1, Chelsea 1, and we'll see what happens. But if we get past Manchester City, FA Cup final, that would be immense. And it would be one half of the complete puzzle in terms of recreating 2012. I just want to leave that with you now. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What starting 11 would you go with? What score prediction would you go with? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Smash the like button if you did enjoy this video. Much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. A little update in terms of myself and a couple of, bits of content that I'm bringing. The YTF podcast channel will now feature full podcasts. So any podcast that I do from now on, it will be on an ad hoc basis. So don't look for a strict schedule, but when it's possible, I will upload full episodes as well as clips. But full episodes will be available on the YTF podcast channel. Hit the subscribe button for that. That link is in the description. Anything else will be on Twitch. And yeah, I look forward to seeing all of you there. Tomorrow will be the watch along for Manchester City versus Chelsea. So join me for that one. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be hella nerve-wracking. I don't think we might survive this one. And it's going to be good prep in terms of the pressure, in terms of going to the Champions League semi-final, because that is going to be at another level. But anyway, we'll get past tomorrow first. Manchester City versus Chelsea, FA Cup final. Come on, Chelsea. Let's get to another final. Let's do it. I'll see all of you tomorrow on the watch along. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.